Welcome to everyone. We are going to talk about concept of prevention. In natural history of disease, there are two phases. One is the pre-pathogenesis phase and another is the pathogenesis phase. In pre-pathogenesis phase, agent, host and environment are present and also the risk factors are present. The person is not exposed to the disease. In pathogenesis phase, the organism enter into the body or the person is exposed to the risk factor, and after the entry of the organism, certain period of incubation period or latent period, the person may develop signs and symptoms may lead into the illness. At the end of the illness, the patient may develop disability or defect. Some patients may completely recover from the illness. Some patients may go for the chronic state and some persons may die. The prevention is action of stopping something from happening and arising. So we have to do something to stop the person from acquiring the disease, or we have to stop the disease progression leading to the complications. From time of entry of the organism, going through the incubation period, early pathogenesis and late pathogenesis phase, the patient may recover or may go for death, or may some disability or defect may happen in the body. With respect to the levels of prevention, 4 prevention are mentioned in many textbooks. The 5th prevention, coronary prevention, is a newer concept and we will discuss in this presentation. One is the primordial prevention, where the prevention of emergence of risk factors has to be addressed. Number 2, primary prevention. It is a pre-pathogenesis or pre-onset of prevention, where the measure is mainly the promotive and preventive in nature. Secondary prevention is halting the disease progression and prevention of complications, where the nature of the measure is the curative in nature. And tertiary prevention is limitation of the disability, rehabilitation and prevention of the death, where the measures are mainly the restorative and rehabilitative in nature. Coronary prevention is to prevent the iatrogenesis and disease mongering. So disease mongering is commercialization of the health. The primordial prevention is included as the primary prevention, but with respect to the non-communicable disease such as obesity, coronary artery disease, diabetes, cancer, hypertension, where it includes the risk factors. So the modification of the risk factors will definitely reduce the disease prevalence and incidence. In the childhood or during school days, if we educate about the ill effects of smoking and alcohol to the school children, and if we advise the good eating patterns and beneficial effects of the physical exercise and involving the games, sports and doing yoga and meditation, will definitely have some impact in the later age group in the prevention of the non-communicable diseases. So the main interventions are individual education and mass education. Primary level of education is it's a measure undertaken in the period of pre-pathogenesis phase, and it is taken prior to the onset of the disease. Here the risk factors are present, but the disease has not yet taken place. Already we discussed it is the intervention in the pre-pathogenesis phase of the disease. Also it includes the promotive and preventive nature of measures. World Health Organization recommends the following approaches for chronic diseases where the risk factors are established. One is a population strategy and high risk strategy. Population strategy is directed at the whole population irrespective of the individual risk level. Even a small reduction of the salt intake by the whole community or a small reduction in the cholesterol level will reduce the hypertension and coronary artery disease in the community. And this is mainly directed towards the changes in the lifestyle of the population by health education from the childhood. High risk strategy is identify the high risk people at an earlier stage based on the family history or genetic history or dietary history, and so we have to target that person to follow the healthy lifestyles so that we can reduce the disease. Secondary level of prevention is in place after the onset of the disease. The main mode of nature of measure is mainly the curative in nature. The main aim is to halt the progress of the disease at an earlier stage and to prevent its complications. The main mode of intervention is early diagnosis and specific treatment. Many of our national health programs and screening programs are aimed at this aimed at this type of intervention. Tertiary level of prevention is applied when the disease is advanced beyond the early stage. For example, after the complete establishment of the leprosy disease, the patient may go for the auto amputation of their limbs or disfigurement. Okay, can we leave the person such like that? We can't leave. No, the patient has to live a dignified life in the society, and he has to live on his own. No, we have to take measures for that. Okay, so that is disability limitation and rehabilitation are the main intervention in tertiary level of prevention, and the nature of the measures mainly it should be the restorative and rehabilitative in nature. If you look at this table, the primary prevention main aim is the preventing the disease before it happens by modifying the existing risk factors. Secondary prevention is identifying the disease before problems become serious. So by means of following early diagnosis and treatment by screening various diseases and identifying the disease at an earlier stage and starting the treatment as early as possible. And the tertiary prevention is the preventing the complication of the disease, for example, by post-stroke rehabilitation and physiotherapy for the accident and any orthopedic injury or back injury. Quaternary prevention is it's a new concept which is coined by the Mark Gemole. That it is the action taken to identify the patient at risk of over medication and to protect them from the new medical innovation and to suggest intervention which are ethically acceptable. See, once the patient become deceased, even after he recovered from the disease, for example, if you say coronary artery disease or any diabetic complications, the patient will have a lot of questions in his mind, lot of confusion. Okay, so as a doctor, we have to counsel them, health educate them, make them to aware of the natural history of the disease. We have to educate them properly, not to worry about the disease. We have to educate, give them the full knowledge about the disease. Instead, we should not prescribe the over medications, unnecessary investigations, unnecessary intervention that makes the people more anxiety and more stress and more financial burden for the people. That is the quaternary prevention. If you look at this, the various levels, what are the aims and status of the people? Primary prevention aim is to mainly to reduce the incidence where the people are healthy. Secondary prevention is aim is to reduce the prevalence where the people are in the preclinical stage, like your iceberg phenomena. And tertiary is to reduce the mortality and morbidity where the patient has developed the disease, clinical conditions, the tip of the iceberg. And quaternary is aim is to reduce harm by we should not exploit the confusion of the patient. Okay, that is a quaternary prevention. In primary prevention, the primordial prevention also included where the risk factor is not present, but in primary prevention is applied where risk factor is present, the disease is not started. And secondary prevention is in early disease, and tertiary prevention is to prevent the complications. If you look at this table, you can see that primary prevention where the disease is absent and the illness is also absent. Secondary prevention, disease present, illness absent. Tertiary prevention, disease present, illness present. Quaternary prevention, disease absent but illness present. So we should not exploit. Okay, we should not exploit that patient anxiety stress to prescribe over medications, to advise them to go for unnecessary investigations, unnecessary interventions. That is a quaternary prevention. Each level of prevention includes certain intervention measures. Primordial prevention includes individual education and mass education. Primary prevention includes health promotion and specific protection. Secondary prevention includes early diagnosis and treatment. And tertiary prevention, disability limitation and rehabilitation. And quaternary prevention. The health promotion, what it means that it is a general measures which will give the moral support or strengthen the individuals from the occurrence to prevent from the occurrence of the disease. Some examples are health education about oral hygiene, nutrition education, sex education, and benefit of breastfeeding, and improvement in the environmental sanitation, nutritional interventions, lifestyle and behavioral changes. These are all the health promotion. Specific protection is prevent specific diseases by means of immunization against a vaccine preventable disease, and specific nutrients like iodine in thyroid diseases, vitamin A against nutritional anemia, nutritional blindness, and also iron and folic acid in nutritional anemia, and also chemoprophylaxis. Um, and now the protection against occupational hazards, accidents, and carcinogen by using visor, apron, earplugs, mask, and barrier cream against occupational skin cancer, avoidance of the allergen and carcinogen, and control of food safety, that is quality food safety, drugs and cosmetics, all comes under the specific protections. Disability limitation is limiting the development of the disability when the person is going on the aggressive treatment and where the patient in the late stage of the disease. In disability limitation, the sequences follows from disease to impairment, impairment to disability, disability to handicap. Disease is where the disease process has started and it has started to cause some damages to the body. It is an abnormal condition of the individual that impairs the function. Impairment is it is something that any defect in the structure or function of an organ or part of the body. For example, in leprosy, damage to the nerves may lead to the foot drop or wrist drop. Okay, so disability is any restriction or inability to perform an activity in a range considered normal for the human being. Handicap means it is a disadvantage for a given individual resulting from an impairment or disability that limits or prevents fulfill of a role considered normal for that individual. We can explain with an example. Person A met with an accident and he got loss of hand. Okay, so because of this he is not able to drive the vehicle. So because of not able to drive the vehicle, he loses his job. So here the accident is a disease and loss of hand is the impairment, and inability to drive is the disability. Handicap is because of that he loses his job. If you look at this color blindness, the defect in the cones is the disease. Because of that he is not able to see the colors, and because of this he is not able to see the signals. Okay, right? Because of that he is denied of any driver post. Likewise, leprosy is a disease where the involvement of the nerves lead into the claw hand, which makes them not able to work, may lead to the unemployment. Okay, these are all the examples of impairment, disability, and handicap. Rehabilitation is undertaken in the individual when the disease is very much advanced and the patient is not able to lead the normal life. He can't go for his routine life because of the sequences followed by the disease. So the rehabilitation is the combined and coordinated use of medical, social, educational, and vocational measures for training and retraining the individual to the highest possible level of functional ability. So because of this disability, the patient may have morally, socially, vocationally, and medically he is affected. There are two types of rehabilitation: community-based rehabilitation and institutional-based rehabilitation. Community-based rehabilitation, where the society has to be educated for the acceptance of the person with the disability, and the family members has to be educated to support the person. by means of social group, self-help group, and women's club and local community leaders. Okay, this is a community-based rehabilitation. So it has to provide them, it has to arrange some alternative mechanism to earn money for their life. Institutional based rehabilitation is by doing surgery, corrective surgeries, corrective surgery for leprosy patients, okay, any accidents, can transplantation, and also the nerve transplantation surgeries, and providing calipers and artificial limbs. Okay, this is institutional based rehabilitations. The different aspects of rehabilitation, if you look, it's a physical rehabilitation, which main aims is to restoration of the function. Vocational rehabilitation aim is restoration of the earning capacity, and social rehabilitation is restoration of relationship in the society. Psychological rehabilitation is restoration of personal dignity and confidence. Okay, so the rehabilitation has got the main role after the disease. So as a doctor, we should not aim at only treating the disease. It's a role of a doctor in preventing the disease, in promotion of the healthy lifestyle by the population, apart from treating the disease. After treating the disease, you have to think what will the patient will do. We have to understand his family and society roles in his life. Okay, what will do after the disease? Is it possible for him to lead the normal life what was happened before the disease? So as a doctor, we have to understand the patient needs, and we have to address, we have to educate, we have to motivate, we have to give self-confidence for the patient to lead the normal life. That is the rehabilitation. See, this is a pictorial diagram of the various levels of prevention as what we have already discussed. And this is a, once again, see various modes of interventions in the levels of prevention. Okay, we have already discussed primordial, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. What are the various interventions are health promotion, specific protection, early diagnosis and treatment, disability limitation, and rehabilitation. Okay, right? So this is now I am going to explain with a small example. Okay, right? It is for the thyroid problems. Okay, thyroid problems. Primordial is, it includes iodine fortification, potassium iodide prophylaxis. Primary is screening for congenital hypothyroidism in pregnancy and regular thyroid function test in type 1 diabetes and in antibody positive persons. Secondary is appropriate thyroxine supplementation in hypothyroidism, appropriate management of the thyroid disease. Tertiary prevention is the management of complications, post radioactive iodine ablation management, post thyroidectomy management. There is a disability limitation and rehabilitation. Quaternary is to prevent over medication, avoid unnecessary labeling of the disease, avoid unnecessary investigations, avoid unnecessary drug or surgical treatment, suggest ethically acceptable interventions, practice informed shared decision making. That is most important. Informed shared decision making. So quaternary prevention covers almost all prevention. At each and every level, you have to follow the quaternary prevention. With this, I conclude.